So you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel and you honestly might as well just go ahead and do it. You've seen other people chasing their passions, living their dream, and you think, I think I could do the same thing. You have kind of this what if in the back of your head and you want to be one of those people. So in this video, I want to give you some tips for how you can start it off right, get the views, get the subscribers, and you can finally do that thing that you've been feeling nudged towards. I'm Alexis, and on this channel, I want to help you set systems and goals so that you can follow your passion and reach your potential and really find the soul of your life. And in this case today, I'm talking about growing an online audience, and in this case, a YouTube channel. So I've had this YouTube channel for a little while now, and way back 4 years ago, it took me 9 months to get monetized. And since then, I've coached smaller YouTubers, and I coached my husband, and he got monetized in 1 week. So I've definitely learned a lot, and I love having his smaller channel to be able to experiment with things. So I'm gonna start a YouTube series, and I thought I would start off talking about what you need to do even before you get started or as you're getting started. If you're someone who's posted less than 35 videos, I would say that this video is for you. So the first thing you want to do is figure out what type of content you're going to share. And a lot of times this comes down to a niche. So I want you to pause and just think about for a second, what is a niche? And what do you think my advice is going to be about big niche, small niche? What do you think the best advice is? So a lot of advice that you'll hear is begin with the end in mind, start with why. What I recommend people do is follow the AMF framework. If you're under 35 long form videos, you're in the awkward stage. Allow yourself to be awkward. If you try to go into that mechanical phase too soon with the metrics and the analytics and what should the schedule be, it is so overwhelming and it's not going to help you take action, which is ultimately not going to give you more clarity. You do not want to be educated beyond the realm of your action. Just say to yourself, I'm going to post the worst YouTube video of all time today. My first YouTube video was about a pink poncho. Then I posted one about video games. Then I posted one about makeup. Then there's one about perfume. Then there's time management. If you look at my first 35 videos, it's all over the place. And so what I recommend to you is think about what could you possibly want to talk about. There's this pool of topics you could possibly want to talk about. In your first 35 videos, I recommend just ping-ponging all over that thing. Ping-pong about all sorts of different topics. Okay, the second tip is, what is your upload schedule going to be? So again, I want you to pause it, because it's one of the best ways to check for understanding. I used to be a teacher. What do you think I'm going to say about an upload schedule for a new YouTuber? So I don't think that a schedule is important as far as for the analytics at the beginning, but what a schedule is good for is keeping a commitment to yourself. So what I would do as a new YouTuber is I would say to myself, I'm gonna get to 35 videos, and when do I wanna do this? Do I wanna do 2 per week, 3 per week, 1 per week? When I look at my channel, I posted 2 videos and then didn't post for months. And then when I came back, I posted 1 per day, like 8 in a row, and then I got burnt out and stopped. So you don't want to burn yourself out. You want to learn a pace that works for you. And when I was first starting out, I was having a hard time figuring out a system, like what should I do, which day. So I had this like laminated dry erase thing, and I was like, okay, this week I'm gonna try this schedule, and I tried it, and then something didn't work about it, so I'd erase it. Okay, this week I'm gonna try this schedule. Okay, something didn't work. Okay, this week I'm gonna start on Wednesday. Okay, this week I'm gonna batch. Okay, this week I'm not gonna batch. So I would say in the beginning, a schedule is important insofar as you make a commitment to yourself and a promise to yourself, and you actually follow through. But it's not so important from like the analytics perspective of it. The goal is quantity when you're in the awkward phase. Just get as many out as you possibly can. The sooner you can get through the awkward phase, the better. And the only way to get through it is doing the reps. Step 3 is creating your channel name. Now, one thing that I just want to make mention of right now is that none of these decisions are permanent. I feel like a lot of new YouTubers are like, I have this channel name and I can never change it. And then this is how it has to be and I have to pick this niche and I have to do this forever. None of these decisions are permanent. You could make your channel name today and change it tomorrow. It literally does not matter what you do as long as you get started. My only advice would be either pick your name, because I think in the time of like AI right now, everything feels really automated and not personal. So if you can make something personal, I think that's really an asset. The other thing is if you can put a keyword in your name, like if you were a DIY channel, you could say like Alexis Kingsley DIY, something that really shows what your channel's about. But again, it's not permanent. And since you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall at this phase, it's not super important. Okay, and the fourth thing you need to do is create a YouTube banner. Now, what do you think my advice is gonna be about a YouTube banner? Pause, think about this. So a lot of times making a YouTube banner is a sticky point for new YouTubers because it's like it needs to be visible on desktop and mobile and TV, and it just kind of gets confusing. It makes it like to where you have to create 3 designs in one. If it were me and I was just starting in a really small YouTuber, the smallest version is mobile. So I would make a design for what mobile needs to be, and anything beyond that, desktop, TV, I would just make it a solid color and not worry about it, because the point is we are in the awkward phase. It's not permanent. Nothing is permanent. We can always change it later. The point right now is just to get started. My only advice really is that it needs to pass the grunt test, which basically means if a caveman or someone really unintelligent looked at your YouTube banner for 2 seconds, glanced at it and looked away, would they know what your channel's about? Visuals speak much more than words. So if your channel is for executives, a picture that signals executives is better than the word executives. And with any creative project, especially in the beginning, I would set yourself a time limit. I would say, I will know I'm done when, and it should be something like, I've spent 30 minutes on this, and whatever it is in 30 minutes, it's done. Okay, now tip number 5 is having a content calendar. Pause. What do you think my advice is gonna be about having a content calendar? So my big advice is that the planning of something and the doing of something should always be in 2 separate sessions because they require 2 different parts of your brain. I think it's helpful if you're in, like, you've posted 0 YouTube videos or maybe you've posted 5, like a really small number. I would just jot out what are 30 videos that I could possibly want to make and really spread the net wide all over the possible content you could possibly want to do. So you've got these 10 wildly different ideas and then you're going to post those and just stick to it. Don't overthink it. And I would give yourself a time limit. I'm gonna brainstorm for 10 minutes. And in the awkward phase, it's literally just what's on the top of my head, post it. So tip number 6 is all about the technology and the gear, what editing software, lighting, camera, microphone. And I want you to pause and just think about, what do you think my advice is gonna be? What are my tech recommendations? What programs am I gonna recommend? So you might be thinking, like, you probably heard the advice before, just get started on your iPhone, just get started on your iPhone. And I might even go a step further and say you can continue on your iPhone for a long time. And my evidence for this is my 2 top best performing videos were both shot on my iPhone. Phone footage is made to look good straight out of the gate for people who maybe aren't super techie. Those videos, like, the color is very true to color. Those best performing videos were shot with natural lighting. There's no other lighting, so it's just natural lighting. It's just on my iPhone. When you get out of the first 35 videos and into the mechanical phase, the first thing I would get is a microphone. And I think you can last for a long time with just a microphone. For the longest time, I used a lav mic that hooked up to my phone. Edit on iMovie or whatever editing software it comes with, it can do so many things. And don't worry about the background, okay? There came a point with YouTube, it got professional, and it got to a point where everything just seemed kind of fake. So actually I've seen a lot of creators moving toward making things more casual. I have this whole YouTube set, but I'm actually intentionally just in my living room, so I'm trying to make things more casual and more personal. And so that's a trend, that's where I see YouTube going. So if you're a new YouTuber, that's actually a good thing for you. And the 7th tip is to just get started, to just start shooting. I think a lot of people are intimidated by the tech. They're worried that they don't look good enough or their voice doesn't sound good enough. But what I want to say is that you have a message. You're in the awkward stage and you'll get through the mechanical, you'll get through the fluid, and you're only going to get better by shooting. There was a study done where they had one group of students go for quality of photos. They were just going to take a few with really good quality, very perfectionistic. And there was another group of students, so they just said, take as many photos as you possibly can. And then they put them in front of judges, and the people with the best photos were the ones that just went for quality. And I think that advice is really, really good, especially for beginning YouTubers. It's just about quantity, getting your numbers up, getting through the awkward phase as quick as possible. Your first videos are gonna be your worst videos. So I wouldn't worry about, this is gonna be bad, this is gonna be embarrassing. The answer is just yes. You can perfectionistic it out, but no matter how much effort you put into it on your first videos, I promise a year from now you'll look back and you're still not gonna be happy with it, so you might as well just get through it as fast as you possibly can. The most advanced thing you could do is the basics every day. So get off YouTube, get off all the mechanical things, the stats, and what should my upload schedule be, and what about this click-through rate, Okay, if you're not to 35 videos yet, no more educating yourself, no more critiquing yourself. 5 seconds of action is more valuable than 5 years of thinking about something. Go post your first video. It's gonna be terrible and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be the worst thing you've ever made and the best thing you've ever done. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.